What does it take to raise a generation that won't be left behind? And who is responsible for raising them? Is it the
Right.
African parents, the children, or the education system? Welcome to another episode of the Speak With Her podcast. My name is Olawole Maryam. You can call me Mary the Talker, and I am excited to be the host on today's episode titled Raising a Generation That Won't Be Left Behind. Is this your first time tuning in? This is a space where we invite women from diverse fields and professions to inspire, empower, and educate the next generation, especially young girls who aspire to make a difference in today's world. Our co-host is unavailable, and I'll be taking the hosting duties myself. In the studio, we have an exceptional guest speaker, the founder of Blissful Cores Publishing, an ed entrepreneur with over 15 years of experience. She's here to share her insights on how we can raise a generation that won't be left behind. This conversation is specifically for every parent, every teachers, and every young people. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming the incredible Mrs. Grace Uche. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, ma'am.
So, thank you very much, Mariam. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
We are looking forward to learning from you. So, as I have done a little bit of intro, I want you to tell us more about yourself for the sake of those that are seeing you for the first time.
Okay. My name is Grace. I am a pastor's wife, a mother, a wife, parent, and a builder. So that is what I am. So I try to, in this age of AI, when everything is AI these days. So I tried to ask ChatGPT, who am I? She said, before, Grace, you're an accountant, you are this, but Grace, your mission is bigger than this. So you are no longer defined by that. You are now being defined by your mission. And my mission is to raise high-performing children everywhere they are. So my mission is to raise children with potential. My mission is to raise children that are 1% of the world. So my mission is to raise children that will change generation. So that is my mission. So it can come in form of education, it can come in form of AI, it can come in form of raising high-performing godly children, it can come in form of any form. But at the end of the day, my mission is to see potential turn into greatness. So that is who I am.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for introducing yourself. So, your mission, if I am correct, vaping is part of it. Can you shed more light on that, please, ma'am? What is vaping?
Oh dear, that's a good one. Okay, vaping is it's a form of smoking, right? It's a form of cigarettes, but instead of children having cigarettes, now they are not having it in another way, in a more fashionable way, in a more designed way. So they think vaping is less harmless. So it's what children, when they inhale chemical and nicotine and everything, so it's actually smoking. So from there, it can be vaping today, it will be drugs tomorrow, it will be something else. So once they get in contact with the nicotine on the vaping, they become so addicted, and they are likely to be smoking, they are likely to go into drugs, they are likely to just derail. So that is what this is all about. So it can start harmless. Oh, it's just a vape. They call this it's just a puff. Just take one puff. But that one puff changed their lives forever.
And it is very harmful for their health.
Very, very. Both their health, both their mental health. Because once children start vaping, they start derailing in school. Their mental health decline, their academic performance decline, everything about them declines. So it is a very dangerous thing. So that's why I'm talking about prevention, because I started we are piloting the program now on prevention. But in my discussion with all the different stakeholders, they said prevention is good. But what of children that's already deep into it? Because where we are, there are those of children that's already deep into vaping. So then we combine now with prevention and cessation. So the what I'm piloting now is both prevention and cessation of the vaping, not just vaping, smoking, vaping and smoking, whatever it is, yes. And that is for the young guys. Because every time I see children, I see them, you see, I don't know, because where we are, you can see a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, I've seen them. You see them with vape. What is that? That's a life being destroyed forever. So if it's not stopped, things are gonna go very bad. So that is why I'm here. That is my mission.
Okay.
That is part of my mission.
Okay, Mine, you just said something. You said you are working with stakeholders. So, what do you mean by stakeholders? Are you including parents? Are you also
Wow.
working with?
Yeah, of course. My first stakeholders are parents. So,
Okay.
but how can it get to parents? Because for us to pilot this, because I built an app on how to stop vaping and prevention with AI. So the stakeholders are parents, but then the parents I'm working with local councils and schools. So
Okay.
because they are the people that will
So,
also promote it to the parents.
thank you for shedding light on that
Okay.
particular part, on the parents' part. Now,
Yeah.
I want to ask you that some parents, some African parents, they are still debating if vaping is really a problem. And you are building an AI tool that will combat this problem. What are we really underestimating when some are still debating if it is really a problem, if it is a normal norms for their children to practice, and we are in a tool to combat it? What are we really underestimating?
I think from my own understanding, can you hear me? It's a bit shaky.
I
We are
can hear you now.
underestimating two things, right? How children can be exposed to these harmful substances. So that's one thing we are underestimating, and how it has become so sophisticated, right? It's like a trend. Okay, this is not just about cigarettes anymore, right? It's not about vaping. It's not about the way it is. They are marketing it as levels. They are marketing it like in social media. They are marketing it as a trendy hype. That's something that children can use to belong. So it is. It is a very, very, the way the marketing is being done is so harmless but very harmful at the same time, which is why we have to hold the companies that do all these things responsible. So the one reason I'm trying to do this is just to educate our children, to educate our youth, to educate our parents. No, it is very, very harmful. Don't take it as if it's something that the way people take vaping and cigarettes, even though it is still at an early stage of research, they are the same thing. In fact, many of the vape now, they are laced with some drugs inside them. That when children start taking the puff, they become so addicted, they can't stop anymore. So that is what is happening. So I think Africans, all of us, I'm from Africa, I'm from Nigeria. So I think we should not underestimate it, because do you know why I will say that? Because some of our children that are coming from Africa to here, they are trying to try it. Majority of the time, I have seen a family that moved away from Nigeria to here, and their children got so addicted up to the extent they ended up in the mental health system. So it's not a small thing. It's not an easy thing for us to just take it. It's early. No, it's happening. And majority of the time, one of the children, even that came from Nigeria to the UK, so you will think maybe they learned how to smoke in the UK. No, they didn't. They learned it from Nigeria. And you know how they learned it? They came from a very rich family, from their family friends. The parents were not aware of it. So in one of my publications, when I started this work, I started this mission like 2, 3 years ago. One of them I was saying about foundation, and then you should watch your circles, because many of the time what our children are exposed to are from families, they are from friends, they are from trusted fellow, that people you don't even know. So that's why we need to protect them. There is a lot that's involved in this. So I just pray and hope all of us will open our eyes to see what is happening. We need to protect our children. We need to protect their minds. We need to protect their environment. We need to protect everything surrounding them. There is a lot, because for me, when I see a child, I see potential. I've worked with different stakeholders. I've worked with different people. I've worked with homeless people. I have seen children, like somebody you see today, the next day they are gone. Why? That night they try something, and that thing they tried took their life. So we shouldn't even come up to that. But this is where all this thing is heading to. Maybe looking back, I would say maybe that's where this mission came from me, because I've been so passionate about this. Like, oh, this child was once a somebody's precious child. How did they become like this? So I don't want to see any potential wasted. So that is why I'm here. It's not just about me. It's not about AI. It's about mission. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me and you. Because it's about protecting guys and protecting children. It's about protecting the next generation and making sure that our future is secure.
Thank you, Ma, for that addition. I want to implore all the parents that are debating on this particular topic that you think that vaping is still a normal practice for your child to participate in, to engage in. I feel like you've heard the consequences of what this vaping can lead most young people to, and it is very, very harmful for their health. So this is actually interesting. So now to the mother's influence. We all know that mothers they have this strong influence on their children. So now to your mission, raising godly high performing children. We know that every day the world changes. We come with today's trend, it's ended there, and there's another trend coming tomorrow, and it will end there. And it is pulling young people towards opposite direction. Now, ma'am, I want to ask you, where does a mother's influence end and the system influence begin?
Well, maybe when we are growing up, I grew up in Nigeria. So you say the mother has all the power, all the influence, the parents have everything, but the trend is changing. It has already changed. So as long as you have these devices in your home, this is another new world that the children are open to. The social media is another new world. So it's no longer the mother. Everything is intertwined now. So, but having said that, the mother or the parents still have a powerful influence on how they raise their children based on what they institute in their home. In one of my articles, I wrote, "Foundation is everything." And it's so true, foundation is everything. But you just have to do your best to make sure that the foundation you are giving your children is right. Right? I don't know about you. I'm a Christian, and I believe the Bible says that train up a child in the way he should grow. When they are old, they will not depart from it, right? So, but let me
Exactly.
tell you, children might depart. You might do everything you can as a parent to train a child, still they will depart because of peer pressure, because of influences, because of harmful relationship, because of toxic environments. So all those things matters. So what I would say, as a mom, you have to be intentional. There is the need for us to be intentional in raising the children. There is the need for us to be alert in raising the children. There is the need for us to be the Bible says in the last days the knowledge will become everywhere. The knowledge is everywhere. There is nothing you can even tell a child. In fact, while you are telling them, they are typing to make sure to confirm whether what you are saying is correct or not. So it's everywhere. So you have to be very smart. You can't just say, "Oh, you are giving the training of your child to the schools." No, no, no. Everybody is involved. I think you asked me that question. Is it the parents? Is it the school? Is it anybody? Each and every one of us have a part to play for us to raise high performing children.
Thank you for that addition. I believe that even if a mother is trying to confuse herself that am I really a great part in influencing my child? You can see now, you can see clearly that you are a strong influence to your child, even if these mobile devices are influencing them every day. You as well can influence your child in the way you want your child to go. I think I'm correct. So now
Yes.
moving on, you've worked in education line before. Ma, I want to ask you, still on the raising of godly highly performing children, are our schools designed to raise leaders or just produce followers? Because nowadays we don't see ourselves, different young people, they see themselves as followers. Oh, let me follow this person. It is this person lead that I want to copy. Let me just put it like that. I want to copy. So at the end of the day, they become a follower. They don't see themselves as the leader because they are not building themselves. Like they are not using their brain to develop things. They are not trying to be creative enough. So they see themselves as followers. What are school doing on this?
Hmm, that's a very important question. And schools do many wonderful things. They do many great things. They do, but the responsibility of raising a high performing child cannot just be left in their hands because there is so much stuff they are doing. Education traditionally is for us to pass out knowledge, is for us to prepare for examination and pass. But then the building of character is on the family. So our character, the way we build, the way we will act outside on the initial stage is on the family, is not just on the school. The school is just there to amplify what you have done. The school is just there to maybe they are not there to train your children. They are not there to teach them how to behave, how to act. School is good, but they are not there to also impart leadership. So they are not there to make children. In fact, the where we are, the children, there is this funny story, this funny thing that the teachers always tell the our children, because my children I raise them here. So when they are like maybe when they go for matches or when they go for running like PE, the house sports that we used to do, even if they fail, they will tell them, oh, at least you try, at least you try. So, but that's not the way we are raised. We are raised to be competitive. We are raised to
Yes,
win. So, did you see that?
yes.
So, I don't know about any parents listening to me. You must raise your children to win. You must
Hmm.
raise them to lead. You must raise them to be leaders and not followers. I tell my children this, and you start in your own house by building confidence. It can be, for example, you can tell your child, I went to a shop with my daughter the other day. They always want you to do something. I say, no, you can approach that lady and say, excuse me, can you help me with this? Then let them know how to talk. Let them know how to experience. And especially, my son as well, I used to tell him, you cannot be a follower. It's not that you cannot be friends. You can make friends, right? But you have to have your own mind. And that your own mind has to be established in the value that you already know. So don't do things because other people do. And it is a lot. And many of our children do that because of peer pressure, because of the need to belong. So they follow the trend. And I always say things to children, to our youth in church, to everything. For you to be great, you have to be different. You must never follow the trend. You must never follow the trend. You have to be different. Everybody is doing it, but you are not everybody. Since you are not everybody, it means there is something that you can do different. You can become a game changer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma, for that addition. I love that. That was wild. You cannot be anybody. You can only be yourself. They're a girl child. I think this is also talking to a boy child as well.
Yeah.
Listening to this, watching this, you can be yourself. You can win. Yes, you have all the world to yourself because the world is big enough for you to fly as well. So
Yes.
you can win. You can lead. It is not. You are not meant to follow. Please don't follow. Don't copy others. Just be yourself. So
Okay.
moving
We
on,
copy
ma'am.
good
It's
things.
about
So we copy good things. I'll tell them you copy good things, but you must have your
Okay.
own mind. It's very, very
Yeah.
important. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma, for that. So about daily affirmations, that I think this actually works on mothers, whereby every day you tell your child, be of good behavior, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. But does the child really do not want to do that? Does the child really do not want to be left behind? So what are the outcomes of these daily affirmations on young people, on child?
Okay, like I told you from my background, I'm a Christian, and we believe affirmation is very, very important. What we say is very, very important. What we declare with our mouth is very, very important. God always tells us, as you have spoken to my ears, so it shall become. So this affirmation, and I have seen it work. I have seen it work in many children. I have seen it work in many families. It is very, very good. But the direction are very powerful, but they must be backed by intentional parenting. So you cannot tell your child, oh, you are going to be great without making an avenue for them to be great. You cannot tell your child, oh, don't be lazy, don't be stupid without making an avenue for them not to do that. So every stuff we must declare, but we must back it up with action, faith and action. Faith without work is dead. You say it, you don't bring it out, it's dead. So there has to be the intention of every parent. And I used to tell us, I don't know, because many a times parents we are providing for our children. Oh, we are doing so much to provide for them. We give in the morning, at night we go, and then we come back. But at the end of the day, what have we invested in those children's life? If you go out and get 9-figure job and become the billionaire of the world, and you fail in your duty as a parent, you have failed. Your greatest investment, your greatest legacy is your child. Is those children that God has given you. Those are our greatest investment. Because, for example, okay, take for instance, I have everything I want in this world. I look on the right, on the left, I have everything, and then my child is misbehaving. You will never be happy. There is no way you can be happy. So we have to be intentional. With the declaration, we back it with faith. Does it work? Yes, it works. Even when they are sleeping, you go on their bed and declare you are going to be great. You keep declaring, you start seeing changes. I've seen it in my own children. It happens, it is real. Words are powerful, but words must be backed with action.
Words must be backed with action. Yes, I love that line. That is a very strong word for parenting. I feel that every parent should know this. Every parent should practice it. It is not about you, it is about your children as well. You shouldn't be selfish on being yourself only. Consider this young generation. Consider them as well. Even if you want to build your career, nobody says you shouldn't build that. But at least let them be a priority. Let them be part of what you know that, okay, yes, this is my achievement because they are your achievements. Definitely, they are your achievements. An intentional
Yes.
parent comes with action. It is not until you speak out all the hundreds daily affirmations today without any action. Definitely, it will prove abortive. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so very much for that as well. So thank you, man. So for the mother, I believe that this this question that I just asked you is related to this one as well because I asked earlier about if this daily affirmation can really do something on a child without any action. Now, for the mother that feels she's too late on her child, maybe she has already seen some bad changes on that child, and she feels like, oh, this child has already become a teenager before I noticed. Now, what is the next thing to do? What does it take to raise this child again? That should be a problem for her or for him or her, for that parent that is thinking about this. So, ma,
I
what is the solution?
I think I've
How
dealt with
can
some I've dealt with things like this, and I want to tell you, it's never too late. It is never too late to start. So it is never to, that's one thing we have to hear. You can say, oh, the teenagers still need guidance. They still need our love. They still need our prayers. They still need boundaries. They still need, what are they finding outside? What makes them to go outside? So what makes them to act the way they act? Is it our own behavior? We also have to ask ourselves question. You know, sometimes maybe the way we behave is also why these children go the other way. So I'll also say we all have to change. There has to be accountability. So even if you say, oh, it's already too late, there has to be a conversation. Call the teenager. I love you. Everything I'm doing is for you. Can we have a discussion? Why are you acting this way? Sometimes they don't want to talk. Then choose your moment. So you can't, the way we grew up, we grew up that we can shout, we can talk, we can do, but choose your moment. Choose your moment when you can break through. You have to break through to their hearts. If you can't do it in the way, go do it in prayer. Do it in prayer. Go back on your knees. You have give birth to those children. As long as you give birth to those children, you call on their names, even with those affirmations and in prayer, they will return back to you. We need to, then they will rebuild trust. They will begin to trust you. Why don't they trust you? Why is it that they don't trust you to tell you? Is it because maybe when they tell you, you will shout? Is it because when they tell you, oh, you've done this bad thing? Why are they not trusting you to tell you that information? So it is very, very important, not just for me, for all of us. For all of us, we need it. And it's never too late. So what I would say, listen more. Hear what they are saying. Pray. Do some things with them. Have a time with them. You know, how I grew up, the way we grew up, this generation is different. The way we grew up is everything you are told, you believe. But it's not like that anymore. They ask questions now. Although sometimes the question can be too much, but still, there is an avenue for that, and we should listen. So it's no longer the way you were trained and you didn't like it, or the way you were trained that produced something else. It shouldn't be the same thing. The world is changing. So they want to understand. So some of us think as parents, when they ask us why, we think they are insulting us. No, they are not insulting us. So what is wrong with somebody asking you to explain something? As long as they are not being rude, even if they are rude, you tell them, no, you cannot be rude to your mom. You cannot be rude to your dad. We can discuss without you being rude. So you learn to talk. You learn to break through. There is one of the paragraph I wrote, you must break through into their hearts. I don't know how long it's going to take. It might take you 1 week. It might take you 1 year. It might take you fasting. It might take you prayer. But God gave you that child, and God has given you the responsibility that everything you declare must come to pass. There is a generational blessing that must come from you. As long as you have that child, you will break through. If you are not breaking through physically, you will break through in prayer. Thank you.
You're already adding the affirmation. You're indirectly adding the affirmation, and I feel like you are praying for me as well.
Oh,
You're
bless
already.
you.
Thank you so very much, Ma. It's been a lovely conversation, interesting conversation indeed, and it's mind blowing. From the conversative skills that you said about parenting, I think that is very, very important when it comes to parenting, because most of our parents, if we ask, especially African parents, they will ask, is it me that you're talking to like that? Why will you talk to me like, and it has ended. That conversation has ended because you are annoyed with your child, and that is the moment that conversation ended. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that. I believe that we can raise these children, this generation that won't, because they shouldn't be left behind. Definitely, they shouldn't be left behind. Thank you so very much, Pastor Mrs. Grace Uche. I really do appreciate your time, your support, your wording here on this episode, on this podcast. It's lovely. Like, I feel like it should be a paid section for every parent that wants to watch this. So, ma'am, do you have any encouragement, any advice you'd love to give
Okay.
to this young generation as well before we end this episode?
Yeah, my advice is in two ways. First of all, I'll talk to parents because we are the builders, we are the foundation. And if there is one advice I would give, it would be for every parent to know you are not just raising a child, you are raising a leader, you are raising an innovator, you are raising a president, you are raising husbands, you are raising great men, you are raising great women, you are raising anybody in this, you are raising greatness. So that's one thing I know. You are raising greatness. And if you must raise greatness, how do you go about it? It means your words matters. What you say matters. Your example matters. Your prayer matters. And your consistency matters. That's another level altogether. Because we can say all these things and we don't follow through. If we don't follow through, we don't get the results. So, and for the young children, so I just want you to know your parents are there for you. So what they are doing is for your best interest. There is no parent that want their child not to succeed. Every parent want their child to succeed. Although maybe the way they are coming about it, maybe the young people will feel, oh, it's another way, oh, it's something. But at the core of it is love. At the core of it is fear sometimes. Fear of the unknown. But your parents love you. Your parents want the best for you. And everything they are doing is for you to achieve that greatness. So sometimes pause and think, why did they act that way? Oh, well, why did they shout? And remember, when our parents are shouting, that's the way they grew up. That's where they grew up. That's where they are shouting. So, but we have to retrain ourselves most of the time before things can change. May God help us in this journey. So for the parents, for the child, our aim is that the world will become a better place because of you. Our aim is that there will be a great impact because of you. Our aim will be because you are here, the world is changing. And there is there is one thing I always believe and I always tell parents, even for the girl, when that child will hold that mic, because one day it will happen. Will that child say, thank you, mommy? Thank you, daddy. Thank you. And it is a day. So that thank you moment is a summary of so many tears, of so many pain, of so many struggle, of so many efforts, of so many things that you have put. But that your child will pick up that mic and say, thank you, mommy. Thank you, daddy. You have done well. And I pray and I believe that each and every one of us will experience it. In Jesus' name.
I'm speaking to my audiences that are
All
watching
right.
this episode. To
Okay.
all the others, the young generation, the children, the girl children, the boy children, I feel I am looking forward to that moment where you will say, thank you, mommy, thank you, daddy. Because raising a generation that won't be left behind isn't an easy task. It has to do with a lot of consistency, as our guest speaker has said, on the parents' part. So you should appreciate what that woman has done to you. You should appreciate what you are doing for us, man. We are appreciating you as well on this podcast. Thank you so very much for coming, for sharing your knowledge, for sharing your insights with us. We truly appreciate it. So this is the end of the episode of Raising a Generation That Won't Be Left Behind. The recorded video will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, the Speak With Our podcast channel. Remember to subscribe, like, and share.